Check out carmarshal.com. The link is in the description. They help support us.
3 years of legal battles. This morning, former Tulsa police officer Shannon Kepler is in jail. A jury found him guilty of manslaughter in the shooting of his daughter's boyfriend, that is. 2 Works For You reporter Giselle Puente is live from the Tulsa County Courthouse with what happened last night. Giselle.
Lisa, the case wrapped up before midnight here at the courthouse. The jury deliberated for 6 hours, finally coming to a guilty verdict. Now, we do have video of Shannon Kepler being taken in handcuffs to the county jail. That is where he will wait and be in custody until his sentencing. The former Tulsa police officer was tried 3 times for murder since November of last year, which ended in mistrials. But this 4th time around, the jury found him guilty of manslaughter. The prosecution stated that on August 5th, 2014, Kepler shot his daughter's boyfriend, 19-year-old Jeremy Lake. The DA claimed there was no evidence that Lake was armed that night, yet Kepler claimed self-defense these past 3 years. Emotions ran high last night on both sides after the guilty verdict was reached.
My son can have his justice that he deserves, and we all as a family get the justice we deserve.
The state's witnesses, such as they were, said that Mr. Kepler supposedly just shot a man that was trying to shake his hand. There was no opportunity for manslaughter on this case.
Yesterday, Kepler testified that he went over to the 200 block of North Maybell Avenue that night to try and talk to his daughter, Lisa Kepler, to come back home. He said the victim tried to get between he and his daughter. Lisa Kepler said that she never witnessed the shooting, but was near the scene and called 911. Kepler will be sentenced a month from now. The jury has suggested he serve 15 years in prison and pay a $10,000 fine. Reporting in downtown Tulsa, Giselle Puente, 2 Works For You.
Tulsa officer Shannon Kepler keeps pension payments despite manslaughter conviction. Former Tulsa police officer Shannon Kepler gets to keep his monthly pension despite being convicted of manslaughter. The Oklahoma Police Pension and Retirement System was going to terminate the retirement benefit on the recommendation of the Attorney General's office in November, 4 weeks after a jury found Kepler guilty of in the death of his daughter's boyfriend, Jeremy Lake, according to public minutes of the system's board meeting. But Tulsa Police Major Ryan Perkins spoke up during that meeting and argued that Kepler's off-duty actions weren't within the function of his police employment. A month later, the board revisited the matter and took no action after a 13-minute executive session, allowing Kepler's monthly payouts to continue. Perkins said the AG's office told the board at the December meeting that Kepler's conviction doesn't rise to the statutory standard to disqualify his pension benefits. The AG's office declined a Tulsa World Open Records request for any records related to its review and decision on Kepler's case, citing attorney-client privilege with the pension board. But Senior Deputy Attorney General Tom Gruber issued a brief statement Friday indicating the review isn't a done deal. We are currently working with the new leadership at the Oklahoma Police Pension and Retirement System and the board to review the law applicable to this case. After our review is complete, we will give our formal advice to the board. State law stipulates that a municipal officer found guilty of a crime related to the duties of his or her employment will forfeit their retirement benefits unless the punishment is a deferred sentence. Kepler was sentenced to 15 years in state prison. TPD Major Perkins, who is chairman of the pension board, said the distinction is in at what point an unlawful act off-duty becomes an act under the scope of an officer's employment. In Kepler's case, Perkins said, testimony determined Kepler was off-duty, not in uniform, in his personal SUV and with his private firearm when he fatally shot Jeremy Lake. Just because he committed a crime doesn't mean he was acting as a police officer when he committed the crime, Perkins said, emphasizing that none of Kepler's actions that night were within the scope of his employment. Kepler testified that he knowingly violated policy when he used an internal Tulsa police database to look up Lake's history and figure out where the teenager lived. But that doesn't necessarily matter, Perkins said. Just because he used a police system doesn't mean he used it within the scope of his job, Perkins said, noting that Lake wasn't part of a criminal investigation, so for Kepler to do so was inappropriate. Kepler's pension payment is approximately $2,600 a month, according to the formula for calculating an officer's accrued retirement benefit. Kepler, 57, retired in November 2014, less than 2 months after he was charged in connection with the off-duty shooting. He opted to take an immediate, lump sum payout in exchange for a lesser monthly pension check. Oath of office, case law. Perkins said he provided the AG's office with materials to review before the December board meeting, such as the department's oath of office, rules and regulations, and training materials related to off-duty conduct. TPD's oath of office includes references to protecting the rights and lives of all citizens and obeying the law. The rules and regulations establish a standard of conduct for officers professionally and privately, which includes not committing crimes. The oath in part states that I will obey the Constitution and laws of the United States, the state of Oklahoma and the charter ordinances of the city of Tulsa. It also states that I will protect the rights, lives, and property of all citizens. The department's rules and regulations establish standards of conduct which are demanded of police officers, in the execution of their professional duties, as well as in their private lives. A subsection cites a duty to know, enforce, and obey laws and ordinances, placing responsibility on officers to know and obey them. Employees shall not commit a crime, the standard states. Perkins pointed to the 2003 assault and battery case against Prentice Elliott as case law supporting his position. The case stemmed from a melee involving TPD officer Josh Martin during halftime at a high school basketball game. The officer was in uniform but not on duty. He was hired by Tulsa Public Schools to perform security and testified he acted under district regulations in trying to evict Elliott, a player, from the gymnasium, not arrest him. A Tulsa County judge ruled during a motion hearing that the officer wasn't in the performance of his official police duties, according to court documents. I think the board is taking the best option and, in this instance, deferred questions to the Attorney General's office, and ultimately it was their decision to allow Mr. Kepler to keep his pension, Perkins said. Sean Ruark, the pension board's interim executive director, declined to reveal what advice the system and its board was given by the AG's office, citing a statute that reads all information, documents, and copies thereof contained in a member's retirement file shall be given confidential treatment. Kepler's lump sum payment upon his retirement was at least $168,000, of which about $21,000 was his own monetary contributions, according to his salary records and pension formulas. The other $147,000 is made up of the $2,600 monthly pension payments, about $130,000, and half of the city's contribution to his plan, about $17,000, in the 50-month period that made up his lump sum payout. The estimates assume he made only the minimum required contributions to his retirement account and don't calculate in the appropriate interest rates.
County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheep up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say Actually, yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But, you know, do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, you know, at least I can do it. You know, 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, you know, if I got, you know, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.